Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Braxus Photography Fun. Today we're going to talk about the film from Rollei, the RPX 25 film. This is a fine-grained film, a very sharp film. It is basically based off of Agfa APX 80 and is sold under other brands as well, including ADOX. And I basically used this film a few times in the past. I shot 4 rolls with it in the last few months just to see if it's comparable to other 25 ISO films, and I'm not really completely happy with it, but I'll go into the results, what I ended up with when shooting this film. So here we are. This is the 120 version. It comes in 4x5 and 35mm as well, and you can get it from quite a few sources in the States and in Europe, so it's readily available. And let's talk a little bit about the film. I basically developed my rolls in X-Tol 1:1 ratio at 8 minutes. The first 2 rolls were done at 8 minutes, and the last 2 rolls, which were shot recently in the summer here, were shot at 25 ISO, of course. And I developed it for 4.5 minutes because the temperature was up to 27 degrees Celsius, so I had to reduce the developing time to get a proper density on the negative. So anyway, let's see some results from APX 80, which is Rollei RPX 25. So here, when I was scanning this film, it is a very flat looking film. It doesn't have a lot of tones in it. It's very washed out looking when you look at it on the screen. And when you bring up the contrast on the film, you tend to lose a lot of the mid-tones in the film. It doesn't always work to your satisfaction. You can get some usable pictures out of it, but quite often or not, it just doesn't have the rich tones that you get out of their black and white films. So I can't fully recommend this film for use in landscape photography or other photography that requires a 25 ISO film. So as you can see from the results, I had to boost up the contrast quite a bit to get it to look acceptable, and you do lose a bit of the mid-tones again, so there is that. And I used an Epson flatbed scanner when I scan these up, so it's an older scanner. You may get better results from a dedicated film scanner from this film, but unfortunately those are few and far between these days and very expensive. So other than that, I hope you enjoyed the results from RPX 25. Again, it's a film I can't wholeheartedly recommend for use. It just doesn't have the rich tones that you get out of the black and white films. So basically, use it at your discretion and try it out for yourself. You may get better results than I did from it. My results are not definitive, of course. They're just a ballpark kind of figure to see what kind of results I could get out of this film. I've had better results from FK 25 in terms of tones and richness of quality of black and white tones that you get out of it. Some people seem to have a problem with the fact that I didn't like the film as the results that I got with it. They seem to suggest that my methods were not sound and that my scanning didn't produce what this film really could do. So what I decided to do, I had one roll of RPX 25 left in 120, and I decided to also shoot it along with the original 25 speed film from Agfa, the APX 25 film. So I got my Mamiya RZ67 out and I shot a roll of each, APX 25 and RPX 25, shot both at 25 ISO speed and consistently the same pictures on each roll, switching the backs back and forth for each shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off those rolls and develop them and see if maybe the RPX film might have a similar look to the old APX 25 film. They're both made by Agfa. It's just the Rollei is a rebranded name film from the original Agfa APX 80. So let's just take a look and see if there's any similarities between the two films and which one I might end up liking better if there is a difference. So let's take a look. So I got the rolls developed. I basically developed them both in Xstall 1:1. It was 8 minutes for the RPX 25 film and 6 minutes for the APX 25 film. The APX 25 film turned out a little bit under-dense compared to what I'm usually used to seeing, so I'm not sure. I probably could have went in the developer just a little bit longer than it did. Possibly it could be a temperature thing as well. I'll have to see if the temperature in the house was a little bit cooler than 20 degrees. Also, with my RPX 25 film, the film back for the Mamiya, that particular back had a light leak in it, so I've got kind of a small streak of light exposed on most of the frames from that roll. So I'll show the results anyway, but just be aware that the shots won't be perfect, that they do have light leaks in the scans. So anyway, let's take a look at the pictures and see what we can get out of them. the scans done and comparing what I could see on the screen between the two films, I could definitely tell that APX 25 has quite a bit more tones to it, a lot more contrast as well. It doesn't do as well in the high and low contrast situations where there's a lot of variances between the two. And it's a better looking film. There's just not much I can say about RPX 25 that I haven't said already. It does do better in high contrast situations where there's a lot of highs and lows in the shot. Basically, you just take a picture and it gives you a flat scan, which you can see here, and you have to adjust it in Photoshop just to get more of a normal looking picture out of it. So you can use RPX 25 if you've got a really high contrast situation and you want to tone it down, and that's where that film seems to do really well. There are some not too bad tones in the film, being that I've scanned it on my new film scanner, the flatbed, the Epson V850. They do look a little bit better than my older scanner, but not by much. It just still consistently has that flat look to it, and the tones just aren't as much as they would be with other films. So I'm not sure, being what I've seen today, if I would use RPX 25 again or not. I still have some rolls of it in 35mm, which I'll use up at some point. I've used up my last roll in 120, which was for this particular video here. So I don't think I'll be buying more RPX 25, what I've seen here, but it's not a bad looking film. It just doesn't compare to other films that I've shot, giving the look that I prefer. Now again, this is not a definitive test. It's not consistent with what others may be getting, especially when they're printing on photogenic silver prints. And they were saying that to really get the qualities out of RPX 25 film, you need to use a silver halide print in the darkroom to really see what it can do. That may be a possibility, yes. But I don't have a darkroom here capable of making those kind of prints, so basically scanning, and if I wanted to use an inkjet to make a print, I could do that, or send it to a photo lab to get them to make a digital print off of the scan. And yeah. As I mentioned in the past, I felt like doing a test between Ilford Pan F Plus and Rollei RPX 25. Now, when I was shooting a lot of Pan F, I noticed that it wasn't very good at the midtones. It was kind of compressed, a little bit flat looking. It did have a lot of contrast, but since shooting Ilford Pan F Plus, I've noticed that, especially in medium and large format, or not large format, but 35mm, that the tones are a little bit better depending on the scanning results. So anyway, I still felt like doing this test between Pan F Plus and RPX 25, just to see how similar they do look to each other, especially in terms of the midtones. So I got out my two Canon SLR cameras and I put on a 50mm 1.4 lens on each of them, and I took them out on a couple locations to do a shoot during the day. And these are the results I ended up getting with this film. It was developed in Xtal, and yeah, so anyway, let's take a look at the results between these two films. I'm going to start here with Ilford Pan F Plus. now let's take a look at Rollei RPX 25. So looking at the results between the two, they are very close to each other in terms of the look. I would almost say the Rollei looks a little bit better in some shots, and the Pan F Plus looks a little better in the other shots. So it's a kind of a toss between the two. They're a lot closer than I expected them to be, but the Ilford still has a slight edge in terms of midtones, having just a little bit more differentiation between each tone in that group. And so yeah, this was my last roll of RPX 25, and I had it only in 35mm, so this is what I ended up using. And as I said in the past, I still don't plan on buying any more RPX 25 just because I wasn't too happy with the results. It did end up a little bit better on my prime film 35mm film scanner than what I got off my flatbed, off a medium format. But yeah, it is a film that would be a little bit better in lower lighting conditions where the contrast won't be so high. But other than that, same with Pan F Plus, it likes lower contrast situations. So take it as you will. The RPX 25 was one of my more popular videos, so I felt like I needed to give it another try, just one last shot at it, just to see. And I was a little bit better this time, so not such a bad film. But I think I'm going to stick with Ilford Pan F Plus and my other 25 speed black and white films. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. If you care to like, subscribe, and comment on my videos, that would be appreciated. We'll see you next time. Well, thank you for watching, and aye and goodbye, eh?